Thanks for staying with us on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Welcome to Democracy Today. I am Ijoma Osamor. There are 105 days, or if you like, 4 months, which is about 15 weeks to February 16, 2019, the day scheduled for the presidential election in Nigeria. Today, 2nd November 2018, according to INEC-approved schedule of activities for the 2019 general elections, is the last day for submission of candidates by political parties. Yaradua Center in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, was the chosen center by INEC for political parties' national chairmen and national secretaries to converge and submit names of candidates for the 2019 general elections. By 12 midnight tonight, INEC will close submission of candidates, and any political party which fails to submit names stands rejected from taking part in the governorship and state legislative elections come 2019. And in exactly 15 days from today, precisely November 18, 2018, political campaigns will start across the country. But there are still unresolved issues arising from party primaries, revealing discord among political gladiators. And most political parties, especially the large ones, are faced with internal squabbles, a fallout of party primaries. Some of the aggrieved party members have headed to court, seeking for justice. The Supreme Court ruling on the All Progressives Congress, APC, Congresses in Rivers State, South Nigeria is still an issue. Many want clear interpretation. Now, the APC leadership says the ruling has been wrongly interpreted. That was from a statement yesterday signed by the spokesman of the party. And the APC says the Supreme Court did not mention the party primary, but the Congress through which leaders at all levels in the state were elected. Therefore, Tonya Cole, who emerged from the Chibuike Amechi-led primary, remains the party's choice. But just this evening, the national chairman of the party made a statement saying that the party has decided to accept the ruling of the Supreme Court. By doing that, they are going ahead to conduct another party primaries. Let's hear him.
The judgment by the Supreme Court, in which from the first page to the last page of that judgment, is very clear that the Supreme Court has nullified the ward congresses that were done by my predecessors in Rivers State. It also nullified the state and the local government congresses that were done, because according to the findings of the Supreme Court, those congresses were done in spite of a subsisting court order. What is important is that, as things stand, the highest court of the land has pronounced that those congresses did not meet the requirement of the law, and therefore they are not valid. As a law-abiding party, we have accepted the decisions of the Supreme Court, and we will call a meeting in no distant future of all the stakeholders in Rivers State to prepare them and to put the necessary machinery in place to conduct fresh world congresses across all the wards in Rivers State, to conduct local government congresses in all the local governments in Rivers State, and of course thereafter to conduct the state executive congress in line with the provisions of the Constitution of the All Progressive Congress.
But there are questions begging for answer. You just saw the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, talking about the primaries. But what are the real implications of the Supreme Court ruling? If the answer is that of the party's Congress, how the delegates who took part in the party primaries emerged. The chairman has cleared the way, the national chairman, Adams Osamor-Peters. I have from Port Harcourt on the other side via telephone, I have with me who I will be asking to give us a clear understanding of the Supreme Court judgment. I have a lawyer, Chidi Lloyd. Hello, Mr. Chidi, welcome to Democracy Today.
Thanks, Joe. How are you doing?
I'm good, I'm fine. So let's go straight to your own explanation and interpretation of what happened with the judgment at the Supreme Court. The ruling, I beg your pardon.
Well, I do appreciate that there have been several interpretations to the judgment of the Supreme Court. But the most important thing is that the Supreme Court judgment deals with the propriety, or dealt with the propriety of the stay of order of stay of execution that the Port Harcourt Division of the Court of Appeal granted on the 21st of June 2018. Now, this order of stay of execution was born out of an earlier order which was granted on the 11th and 30th of May of 2018. We quickly appealed those decisions, interlocutory injunctions that were made by the lower court. And on the 21st, the Court of Appeal granted the stay of execution. The respondents further appealed to the Supreme Court, and on the 22nd of October, the Supreme Court came up with its judgment, thinking that with the understanding that the Court of Appeal oughtn't have stayed the order of execution, since, according to the judgment, the All Progressives Congress couldn't benefit from an earlier fraud which they had committed, to wit, disobedience for the order of court of the 15th. That is the import of the judgment of the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court of the 22nd.
Okay. So what, now you heard what the chairman said this evening, that the party is accepting the ruling from the Supreme Court. Now, why is the...
Absolutely. What the chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Osamor-Peters, has done is to further strengthen the position of the All Progressive Congress that it is a party of rule of law.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court blamed the Court of Appeal not to have followed precedents in the case of Ojukwu against the Lagos State High Court. Lagos State government, rather, and in doing so, the chairman and the National Working Committee took a cue that the party haven't been accused of disobedience of court of the order of a court of law,
competent jurisdiction,
couldn't benefit or oughtn't benefit from any other order by the court or any other benefits by the court. So that's what the national chairman, to my mind, the details of the statement of the national chairman is still scanty, but I think on the face value, you could see a party and a chairman that has deep regards
for the rule of law. Now, let me ask you the last question before I let you go, before I join the person who is in the studio with us. Where is the place of the candidates that emerged from the party primaries?
Well, I just said to you that the details of the statement of the national chairman are still sketchy.
Okay.
Once we know the full import and the context within which the national chairman made his remarks to newsmen, we will know what the guidelines will be. It's a political party with leadership. Whatever direction the leadership gives to us, we shall follow.
Okay.
And that is what we have been saying ab initio. But this attitude of a man, the ambition of certain persons, rocking the boat of a whole political party, or trying to do some kind of collabo with others in another political party, would not portend well for us. As for us, in the All Progressive Congress in Rivers State, whatever the party says, we shall abide by.
All right, thank you very much.
It's important, that I do state this, that most persons, or most commentators, have tried to pitch the River State chapter of the All Progressive Congress against the judiciary. And this is not correct, because we have deep and immense respect for the judiciary, and especially so when the Supreme Court is involved. And what the national chairman has done is to prove that St. Thomas is wrong, that those who think that our party do not obey the rule of law. This is a classic example that the national chairman has portrayed.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Chidi Lloyd. Hopefully, when you are in Abuja, when you are in Abuja, I would like to have you in the studio.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Yes, from the other side, I have someone who is very passionate about River State. He is from the Niger Delta, and he has said that the future of Nigeria and the people of Rivers is paramount. Therefore, when he needs to talk so much about this issue. We have joining us in the studio here, Dr. Owen Hercules. You're welcome to Democracy Today.
Thank you very much, Madam Ijit.
Now, let's first of all ask you, on the position of the national chairman of APC, what he just said, what is the implication?
First and foremost, I want to commend his effort thus far. I think it's a step in the right direction. Be that as it may, we need to go all the org.
All right, now, let's find out from you the interpretation of that judgment, the Supreme Court. Because the APC yesterday came up with a statement saying that people have been given different interpretations that really does not put the party in a good light. So in your own position as a politician, and also as somebody who understands the law, what do you think happened and what is the interpretation?
Well, it's exciting to me that the party, within 24 hours, realized the position of the law and decided to want to toe that position of the law. But it's yet to be seen how far they will go in actually obeying the court order. Now, if the court order nullifies an ESCO that emerged from a faulty process, it simply means that that ESCO does not exist.
Would that not also affect the other ESCO? But now they have two ESCOs in River State.
Yes, it will not, because the other ESCO was the ESCO that the court says should be maintained when the court advised that the status quo should be maintained. So if there's an ESCO to which the court refers that as the status quo, it means that ESCO is recognized in the eyes of the law. I am not a lawyer, though, but I think that's my layman. As a layman, that's the best interpretation to it. If the court says this ESCO is faulty, then revert to status quo. It simply means that the status quo is recognized. Okay? The other ESCO is recognized in the eyes of the law.
Well, wait, let me go by this. There was a Supreme Court judgment.
Yes.
I want to bring this because I'm going into submission of candidate names, which
Yes.
expired today.
Tonight. Yes.
The Supreme Court judgment made long ago, if I can remember, I'm not a lawyer, but I read and I saw it, gave the party the right and the powers to pick a candidate and
Yes.
send to INEC.
Yes.
Now, if the issue of the court is saying this ESCO is nullified, does that affect the position of Tonyeko as the party earlier said they are picking as their candidates?
100%.
How?
Because he emerged from a faulty system, a faulty process, which the court has nullified. You see, this situation would not have lingered thus far, but for the crass disobedience, arrogance of some group of persons. If the court says that the ESCO, the process that threw up your ESCO is faulty, now reverts to status quo, maintain the status quo ante, as they would say in law. Then you reverse, you obey that court order. But instead of them obeying these two court orders, they quickly ran to the appeal court to get an order of injunction.
But there's
Stay of execution.
There's still a pending case in court.
Pending case in court?
Yes, the one that 2 days ago, they were in court. Yeah,
yes.
They were in court.
Now, the case in court is not in respect of the order which the court issued in respect of the primaries of the congresses which were annulled. The congresses had been annoyed twice. They went behind, obtained a stay of execution from the appeal court. Now, the people who have been disenfranchised took it further to Supreme Court because they felt that their rights have been trampled upon, they have not had fair hearing, and the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, says that, look, these people should not have even gone to appeal court first because they have stubbornly disobeyed court orders. Now, when you look at the details of the Supreme Court judgment, he's saying that, look, I have a copy here. He's saying that, look, whereas these people who have emerged have disobeyed court order, they went to the appeal court and obtained stay of execution and went ahead to conduct the congresses which threw up the ESCO, and the ESCO went ahead to conduct the indirect primaries. If the process which threw up the state ESCO had been nullified, it simply means that the state ESCO, which is referred to in this bracket, is nullified. Anything that state ESCO touches is illegal. All right,
Dr. Owen, we'll come back to you. We need to go for a break now because I want to find out if this is not like digging the pit for the APC in Rivers State. Can the APC actually produce a candidate if they go this way? We'll be back with the next. Let's just see what happened across Nigeria today.
The young professionals and advocacy against electoral violence and good governance in Calabar, the Cross River State capital, has advised Nigerian youths to engage themselves positively in the 2019 electoral process.
We have ever preached no violence in politics, no violence of elections. We are taking elections to the grassroots. We are preaching love. We are preaching charity.
Every young person out there is itching for an opportunity. Every young person out there is itching for good governance.
And the West African Examination Council has presented attestation certificate and confirmation of school certificate result to President Buhari.
To prove that I have passed these exams, I went to Indian Staff College. I went to United States War College. All this in the Nigerian intellectual request for appointments or PhD, MLC, or MLC, PhD, and the rest of them. On the military side, I have got them.
Thank you very much. Good to know you're still there. We still have Dr. Owen here with us in the studio. Now, Dr. Owen, let's go to the aspect that everyone wants to have a clarification on. That is, the national chairman of the APC said today that they are going to conduct fresh congresses.
Yes.
But will that affect the primaries? In River State, they have two candidates emerging from separate primaries, one direct and one indirect primaries.
Yes.
Would this decision not sweep the rug off the field of both factions of the party?
I wouldn't think so.
How do you mean?
I think the best thing the party should do is to recognize the fact that there are two existing state ESCOs, one not recognized by the law, nullified, but still carries on as a state ESCO. Then there is the other one recognized by the law. And the both ESCOs conducted primaries, whereas one conducted indirect primaries, the other one conducted direct primaries. If you recall, the neck of the party gave room for state ESCO, not state ESCOs. Now, in this case, when you are talking about state ESCO, you are talking about the state ESCO recognized by the law. One of the state ESCOs has been nullified. There's another one recognized by the law. Now, if the NEC says that should any state ESCO want to conduct primaries, the state ESCO should do a memo, should indicate. Now, the state ESCO in Rivers State recognized in the eyes of the law.
Which one is recognized in the eyes of the
That's
law?
the state ESCO led by...
Magnosabi.
No, led by Prince Peter Odike.
Okay,
Magnosabi is only a leader in the
faction.
party, and it's not his faction. It's not his faction. It's wrong to say it's his faction. He's only a member of that ESCO as the leader of APC in Southeast Senatorial Zone.
Now, that's a lot of persons have sent me questions since this APC Rivers State debacle came up. They've asked questions like, was it a party that conducted the direct primaries? Did the National Working Committee send members to go conduct, just like you have committees,
yes,
electoral committees to conduct
yes,
primaries in
yes,
states?
Yes.
Then the third question is, did INEC observe that primaries? So how do you give eligibility to the Magnus Abbey primaries?
Sorry, it's not I wish to correct that.
Okay,
it's not Senator Magnus Abbey's primaries. You will say the state ESCO led by Prince Peter Odike. That's the state ESCO recognized in the eyes of the law. You also have to remember that this state ESCO was actually led by my dear friend and brother, Chief Dr. Davis Ikanya Ibiamu, was. But when Ikanya went for medical, he came back, he refused for whatever reason to resume.
Okay, so that's how the deputy took over.
As the chairman of the party. Lacuna cannot be sustained. There cannot be a vacuum. So the deputy chairman stepped into as in an acting capacity. And he's done very well managing the party thus far. In Rivers State, there is only one ESCO, one recognized in the eyes of the law. And thank God, the chairman of the party, my brother and friend, Comrade Adams Oshomole, has admitted the fact that the congresses, according to Supreme Court, were illegal. So all this why, this flag, Amakri, Ojukaye-led ESCO, was actually not in existence.
Now, let's look forward now. What is the solution?
Yes, I would want to suggest to the party, if they have accepted the fact that the congresses conducted by the flag Amakri group were 40, every one of them 40, they should go all the org to also embrace the fact that there is an ESCO recognized by the party.
And if they don't do that, what happens?
They will have to do that. It's not a matter of if they don't do that, because the chairman just said that fresh congresses will be conducted. How? Which ESCO will he use? Is it the ESCO that has been nullified, that does not exist in the eyes of the law, or the ESCO that exists in the eyes of the law? If there's an existing ESCO recognized by the law, and this existing ESCO conducted direct primaries, and before the ESCO did that, the ESCO sent in a memo to the National Working Committee that they have agreed to conduct the primaries through direct mode of primaries.
Dr. Owen, if we had much time, I would have said we should continue with the discussion, but we're already off time. I want to say thank you for being a part of the program.
You're welcome, Madam.
We will definitely one of these days invite you. It's a developing issue. Yes, before we go, let's just take a page into Imo State. Oshomole made mention of something today concerning the Imo State governor. And remember, there are 3 suits on that Imo. 2 says the stop the National Working Committee and INEC from recognizing Opuzodinma. And 1 is saying the National Working Committee should not recognize Tony Wosu. But all the same, let's hear from the national chairman of the party.
Governor Richards heads the executive branch, and the judge heads the legislative branch, the judicial branch. That judge, in his wisdom, having had prayers by those who appear before him, including the sitting deputy governor, to Rochas Okorocha, he is the one who went to obtain that order. That order directs me not to tamper or not to have anything to do with any so-called secondary or repeat primary, governorship primaries.
Well, you heard from the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, but they still have 2 orders that is saying, national chairman, do not have anything to do with Hope Uzodinma and his group. They have 2 court orders that is pending, and we just hope that the party will resolve all these pending issues. Until tomorrow when we return, I am Ijoma Osamo. Good night.